But The Rock is cooking.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of What's Wrong with Wrestling. I'm Andrew Pisano, along with my brother Joe Pisano and Eric Slamilton Hamilton.
We are going to recap a draft, the first one.
The very first draft.
This was the first. So much was going on in 2002.
Right.
And all I have to say is, what an amazing year of wrestling.
Yeah.
I always get lost in the timeline of wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, when did this happen? When was this faction this? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And it's kind of funny. This was just a week after WrestleMania for the most part.
Yeah.
And so The Rock and Hogan just had their epic match.
Yes.
Hogan's good all of a sudden.
Now he's good.
Oh yeah.
NWO has already added X-Pac the
Yeah.
week before.
Yeah.
So the NWO is still a thing, even though it didn't live very long. Scott Hall is still there. There's all these little things, like Undertaker's, the crappy
badass.
one. Yeah, the
Yeah.
badass Undertaker.
No.
Kane's still masked. There's so many things going on this
Yeah.
year.
And what's funny is the dynamic here between Flair and Taker when they just had like a really vicious match
Yeah.
Right.
the week before. Like to the point where like a couple weeks before, like Taker almost beat Flair's son to death.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Yeah.
it's so that's interesting. And you also have like a face Triple H as champion.
Right.
yes.
That's kind of cool.
Well, this
Yeah.
is
Chris
just,
Jericho's around.
He's
super
like
popular.
the top heel.
Top heel.
yeah.
This is a
Well,
wonderful
then
time.
not too long, after this, Shawn Michaels returns. Kevin Nash tears his ACL.
Right.
Or his quad, and then Triple H turns on Shawn Michaels, all like in the next few months.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And again, you have Stone Cold and The Rock are bigger than ever
Yeah.
at this moment. Right?
Oh, and they changed from WWF to WWE,
right.
like in just 3 months from now or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And earlier in the season,
yeah,
they bought WCW.
yeah.
Like that happened this
Well, no, that
wrestling
was
year.
That was the year before.
It wasn't. So I was trying to find the episode on the draft, and it was in the wrestling year. Well,
The
I guess you're
WrestleMania
right.
calendar
It was.
year?
I'm sorry. It was the like September, October before that. I think.
of 01.
Yeah.
No,
So-
because WCW people were at
No, it was in
WrestleMania
2002.
17.
It was in 2002.
No, you didn't- not
March
the
2001 was when Shane came on Nitro and was like, the name reads McMahon.
I just know when I was looking up Raw in that year, I went all the way to the bottom to start going up until Andrew sent me the picture, and that happened in there in the 401s, 402, 403. It was like somewhere in
Really?
there.
It was
But
in 01 though when
who
Shane was
knows-
on Nitro.
Who knows the chronological of like their numbers of their episodes? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Because like the invasion angle was summer of 01 because Triple H
The summer
wasn't-
before this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Triple H wasn't there. And he came back like before the Rumble as a huge face.
Oh, right. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Just cool. Always like looking at the timeline of things. That's all my point is.
Right.
This was like a year where you had like everybody.
Yeah. It
Oh
really
my
was.
God, everybody.
This is where you're like, okay, this draft makes sense. They need two separate shows because they have
There's too many guys.
so many people.
There's too many guys that deserve the belt.
Right.
So you got to break it up.
I remember being very excited when I was a kid, watching this episode.
Yeah.
Because I was mostly, I think even at this point, I was mostly watching Raw. So I was like, oh, I hope my favorite guys go to Raw or whatever.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Although, at the time, I was still watching SmackDown, I guess. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. As a kid, I had some sort of allegiance, I guess.
yeah.
Or allegiance to one show.
And when did
SmackDown?
SmackDown debut? 99?
99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So SmackDown's not even that old.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's funny is like they even did a toy line of this draft.
Yeah.
That I guess it was like the first 10 that they announced on the show, and then the second 10 that were announced in the lottery. Those were most of the ones who got figures, and I actually have one in my collection.
Oh.
For the benefit of those who are watching this,
Yes.
I have the RVD number 4 draft pick action figure.
And this is, of course, from 1979 per the packaging.
Yes, clearly.
Got yellow fast.
I know, right?
Where's his title?
I think I got this. It was like in a shop, and like I think it was like near the window. So it kind of-
Yes. Where's the IC
Where's
title?
the IC title?
yeah, that's weird. It doesn't come with the IC title
Yeah.
because he was IC champ.
Right.
Yeah,
IC.
high C champ.
He's the IC champ.
Yeah,
So yeah, the first the first 10 for each show were on the show, and then afterwards it was a lottery that was on the website.
Right.
So Bradshaw was 11, Steven Richards, Matt Hardy, Raven, Jeff Hardy, Mr. Perfect, Spike Dudley, D'Lo Brown,
Spike was a draft pick.
Sean Stasiak,
Oh God.
and Terry.
Yeah.
But again, these were random.
right.
Yeah.
Wait. So there's a Spike Dudley action figure?
I guess,
Or
yeah,
is this a
limited.
joke?
No, I think limited edition of 5,000.
Oh,
Wonder what that looks like.
I want the Spike Dudley one.
Yeah, right.
D'Lo Brown, keep looking like
Like that
Like
just means
that's-
like, yeah, we're not going to waste our time on a figure.
Sean
It's like-
Stasiak, only found on Planet Stasiak.
yeah, that was like his gimmick.
Why
And then-
even put all these guys on there if you can't collect their figures
Yeah,
With check boxes.
with check boxes? What the
right.
hell is the point of this?
And then Terry, as if you had have a chance.
Brock
We're not
Lesnar.
trying to fuck her.
I'm
Wouldn't
not trying
you
to
like
fuck
to
the doll.
know?
Just
Yeah.
own the doll. Own the entire collection.
Here, will that stand up over here?
Yeah, I'll try it. But
By the way, we should have reviewed the following week too, because
That's going to block your face.
next week is Terry versus Trish in a paddle match, but they're in bra and panties to start the match.
Bra and panties paddle match.
And Terry's in a thong, just like a thong. Like if that just moves at all, you're seeing lips
lips.
and butthole.
Well, this was their we hate women and have no respect for them phase.
Yeah.
Otherwise
yeah.
known as the Attitude Era. Let's
Exactly.
see. Matt Hardy. Steven Richards above the Hardy Boys. It's a different time.
Well, that's the
Well,
lottery.
that's just the lotto.
Oh, anybody could have been
That's
picked.
why
Right.
Stasiak was on there the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Because why the fuck would he be? What an idiot! It's my favorite.
idiot.
That's Jim Ross describing Sean Stasiak. What an idiot!
yeah.
And he's accurate.
Yes, he is.
He wasn't wrong.
All right, so this episode of Raw is War. Razwa,
Raw is raw.
as we used to call it,
Yeah.
our sister. Hey, you watching
Raw is
Razwa? This is March 25th, 2002, 8 days after WrestleMania. We start things off with a bunch of superstars in the green room, I
Like
guess.
Raw.
Yeah.
What do you think they're why do you think they picked Raw?
Well, it was. I mean, remember the old Sunny videos? It was obvious. It was totally sex.
Because
Yeah.
It was
don't
no
lube up.
condoms. I just recently
Like that's
watched.
the theme
I just
that they've
recently
had for
saw
12
them
years.
again. Yeah,
Or 20 years.
25,
25
26
years.
years.
Right, of course. 25 was last year.
Yeah.
And Sunny's like, everyone likes it better raw, and it's like,
Let's go with that. That's it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I can't argue that, Sonny.
Like that's
I'd wrap
that's
it
all
up
the
now, sweetheart.
promos. Exactly.
Right. Like, I wonder how they would explain that. Like, if they're doing an interview with a kid, like, why is it called Raw?
Yeah.
Well,
Because it's raw, like it's like so like just raw and out there. and
raw action.
It's raw.
That's why Raw is war, because pussy is war.
We fight for the pussy.
Exactly. So Raw starts with a bunch of superstars in the green room because this is, they're basically doing the NFL draft. That's
Yeah.
what they're
Where am
trying
I gonna
to do.
go?
Right.
And they're watching Linda McMahon on a TV,
Oh boy.
and it says that in the title says WWFE CEO.
Saw that.
World Wrestling Federation Entertainment.
I guess. Right. I don't know, something.
Huh?
They were in the
That's-
middle of it.
That's never been the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That must have been a typo or something. Or they were like, change everything to WWE, and then some stupid kid just put an E at the end of, after the F or something. I don't know
yeah.
what's going on. I think it's just a mistake.
The CEO.
But I guess Linda was in charge during this time.
I remember a time
so.
around here where Linda was put in charge.
Yeah.
She kind of led the board. The board ousted McMahon. Then he was back. And then, yeah, Linda said, "You're a cheater."
When's
so
the
I'm
last
taking over."
time we've seen her on TV? Because I remember Austin Thunder in 05, and I don't know if we've seen her since then.
Did I ever tell you guys that I saw her at WrestleMania?
Like this one?
Yeah.
No.
Like, she went by on, like, a golf cart?
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I went to go get food,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
she went
yeah,
by
yeah.
in a golf cart and a huge. Now, in this little tiny area where the food was, where we were,
Yeah.
like a chant, like Linda, Linda, and it was so crazily loud, like because of the area of this little room.
She's always been over,
Yeah,
super
sure,
Right.
sure. But her in a cart, whipping around where the food is.
Yeah.
Like that must be a weird stadium for you'd have to bring people for backstage and stuff. Which
Yeah.
is weird
Right.
that she was right in that little area.
Yeah.
There was nowhere else you could cart people around that place.
Right.
But we saw a few superstars getting carted around weird areas.
Well, yeah, when we were outside, Eric and I saw Paige in a
Right.
golf cart.
Yeah, like
Zooming
going to
by.
the stadium.
Yeah. So,
Like, oh, okay, that's how that
A
works.
special Divas parking lot edition.
Right.
yes. So Linda tells us that Vince will represent SmackDown, Flair will represent Raw, and only 20 picks will be made on Raw with the rest of the superstars being decided in the lottery.
So let's talk about Vince managing Raw. I mean SmackDown. Like
Yeah.
Vince taking over SmackDown.
Yeah.
That was a little swerve I didn't remember.
Right.
No, at the time we probably thought, oh, these shows, they're both shows. But like that's still like Vince, I'm sure. It's just weird.
I think
right?
they did this whole thing in the first place to help with
To
the SmackDown.
legitimize
Yeah.
SmackDown.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
last long because shortly after, like during the summer, that's when Bischoff is in charge
Well, of Raw.
of Raw
Yeah.
because
and
Vince
he brings
appoints
him
him.
back, right?
Because
So what is there a match to decide who
yes,
owns it all
Vince
again?
fights
2 weeks
Flair
later?
in a match, like
Yeah.
maybe a month later.
And
I
wins
want
it all
both,
back?
I want control, full control.
Right.
Yeah.
He
And he
can't,
beats the 17-time champion.
Yes,
he can't
does.
even kayfabe give up the like company for
No.
just a little bit.
No.
It's like the whole Trump thing, and then he had to buy it back from Trump or whatever.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Trump's like, I'm gonna make you pay double to get it back, and he's like, damn it, okay. And it's just like,
God!
wait, what? He's not? Is he richer than Trump now? What's going on?
Yes,
Like,
he is.
Well, Trump had to be over. Trump's like, well, I need to be
Yeah.
over, so,
right.
Make sure that it looks like I made money on
Yeah.
this transaction. It should be amazing.
For once, I made money on a transaction.
This should be the greatest transaction in the history
now,
of transactions.
Everybody's talking about this transaction.
You can have Raw back. You can either pay me $50 billion, or I will shave your head again.
Standard rate for
Yeah.
a wrestling organization like this.
And Vince is like, oh, all right, I'll pay them. I'll pay the money. I don't want you to shave my head again because it looked horrible last
the
time.
divas, whether they let you grab them, like free range.
Vince, real quick, before we do this transaction while I still own them, which of them can I grab right in the pussy? Can you tell me right now which
That's
one?
still in the contract. I can
Which
grab.
one can I grab right in the pussy?
Yes, I want to grab all of them except for Mae Young. So
Unless she lets me, because, I'll grab all the pussies.
yeah. So Linda says,
Wait.
yeah,
Pussy.
pushy,
Okay.
pushy.
You can move on, Andrew.
So somehow Trump
I
turned
just sold this
into
podcast back to you.
somehow Trump turned into Tony Soprano.
He did?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Christopher. Yeah, they're both from the same town in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Linda says because of the WWF Championship triple threat match tonight, neither Triple H, Chris Jericho, nor Stephanie McMahon is eligible to be drafted.
No, bummer.
Huh? I forgot about this.
Making no sense.
I
Exactly.
completely forgot about this.
Yeah.
And she also said due to a contractual clause, Stone Cold is also ineligible to be drafted. He's a free agent and can sign with whichever show he wants.
So Stone Cold's contract had a clause in it that if by chance,
In case you ever do a draft like the NFL, where SmackDown has a roster and Raw has a roster, I'll become a free agent. I can sign wherever I damn well please.
yes,
And then, like, 3 years later, we're going to have a draft.
Well, you see right here. Don't you dare try to say I'm going to get drafted, Vince. Or Linda.
You old bitchy twat, I have a draft. I have a clause right here.
Bitchy.
Says that, says I go where I want. It's right here.
It says right here, you bitchy twat.
Jesus.
I'm Stone Cold. I'm the smartest agent in sports. You should hire me.
Oh my gosh.
So, good. Offer me some money, Vince. Offer me some money.
How about $2 million? How about $1 billion, you fuck?
And Vince is like, fine.
Okay.
I'll pay it all.
Jesus, I fold faster than Superman on laundry day.
Nice. Never
So
heard that one.
we get the Raw's War intro with the badass song.
Yeah, it's great.
And tons of pyro at
oh
the
my
beginning
god,
of the show.
like as
So
much
much pyro.
pyro as we saw at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
just to open Raw.
Right.
At least 3 kids died from the sounds and the lights. And
It's
the pyro.
just such a different feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And then
it's
the
like,
lights
oh, this
come
is going to
on.
be awesome.
The lights come on, and there's 17,000 poster boards.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone brought one.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm glad is not so much around anymore.
Right.
Is all the fans with their fucking posters blocking the ring. You can't see shit if
Blocking
you're
their-
behind
their
there.
neighbors.
The
yeah.
guy in the front row holding up his sign.
I remember when my sister took me to WrestleMania 17, there was a guy in front of us that held up a poster the whole fucking night, and everyone was yelling at him to put his poster down.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, good thing me or Dominic weren't there that night.
Right.
Especially Dominic.
Yeah.
What section?
I'm like,
Maybe it was me.
you son of a bitch.
You
son of-
bitch.
so
Where's
yeah.
everyone yelling at you because of your son?
No, I only put my sign up when Kurt Angle came out.
Oh.
Yeah. And
By
then
the
when
way-
when he won.
And it said, I will suck your dick.
It did.
Come pick me out of the crowd.
I'm only 18, but I'll do it.
By the way, the following week was when they changed the song to
No
generation.
the bird, the bird.
Did you want to sing
That's
it?
the only word we knew.
You look disappointed that we didn't
Let's
play
get
this.
it on.
Come on.
play that music. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's play the fucking music, but
Yeah.
they
Play
the one-
that music.
The one for this show is probably like my favorite, but the one unoriginal song had to be "Beautiful People"
that was
That was
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
with Stone Cold walking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Best intro. Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, the Raw's War song. This one should have been in the bracket too, the song bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. It wasn't. Yeah.
No.
It's good.
So, anyways, our first matchup of the night is Mr. Perfect versus Taz.
Taz, proof that anyone could be a superstar in
Yeah.
WWE.
Yeah.
He's so bad. How was he ever over?
They hyped the shit out of him.
Sure.
Well, remember because he was Taz for I think a few years, and then they repackaged him years later. Hornswoggle when he returned.
Yeah, that's
Finley's
right.
Yeah, that was
son
it.
or whatever, and then
Yeah.
became Vince's son.
Taz was really the first like indie signing of like, you know what I mean? Like
He was the first big ECW guy
Big.
to
because
come over.
ECW
Well, what do you mean RVD?
But he was there before RVD.
was he?
Taz?
Yeah.
Taz was on WWE before RVD.
He was. He came in like before the whole WWE bought WCW thing.
When did
Really?
ECW
Yeah.
become a WWE brand? Do we know? See the timeline stuff that I love thinking
Well,
about because
like-
you get so lost.
Yeah.
It had to be before this.
Like in the
everyone
in
was
the
there.
summer of 2001, that's when a bunch of ECW and WCW guys showed up.
I think he bought it
That
at
was
the
the
same
invasion
time.
angle.
Yeah.
That was the invasion angle.
I
Yeah.
think he
Yes.
bought both at around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so Taz was there before RVD.
I
but
think Taz
but
debuted.
the way they were doing it is like they were acting as if Taz is like a new guy.
Right.
he debuted. I think it was like Survivor Series of 2000.
You're right because he was a part of the invasion, and Stone
Yeah.
Cold already ripped him to shreds by then.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is way after Taz's hype. Although he's still getting a win here, but
Still
right
gets a win
for
over
some
us.
reason,
Over a legend.
and he's still giving that shitty catchphrase.
yeah, but he's fucking horrible. So Perfect grabs the mic before the match and says, "Tonight you're gonna see the perfect pick, and that's me." And then he cheap shots Taz.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird promo. He hit the perfect plex, but Taz got his arm on the bottom rope. And then Taz made Perfect tap to the Taz mission. After the match, Taz grabs the mic and says,
It seems to me the perfect pick has become just another victim.
but Taz is so trash.
He is. He's garbage.
I mean, he can't. This match was so bad, it was because of Taz.
Right.
He can't do anything.
No.
I love
such
Taz.
garbage.
Like
Because of
Taz
his
would be
neck.
booed. He'd be booed louder than Roman these days. Like
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he has the
He
same
tried to
song
call.
pretty much.
So on the network, they have a documentary on Nigel McGuinness, and it talks about how him and Daniel Bryan were signed by WWE at the same time, and so during the physical, they're like, "Oh, you know, have you had any injuries? Yada yada." And Daniel Lydon said no,
Right?
and Nigel McGuinness was like, well, yeah, I tore a bicep and I didn't get surgery, but I've had it checked by doctors and it healed on its own fine. And they're like, no, you need to get surgery, get it surgically repaired, and then, you know, you can come try out again.
Right.
But it's like, I wonder if that kind of clause was instituted because of Taz, because they signed him and his neck was garbage. He only wrestled for what, like 2-3 years?
Yeah.
And then he couldn't do anything.
Right.
Like he couldn't even like.
Well, I thought he stopped wrestling because he sucked.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
WWE's like, this guy's really
Also
bad
that.
at everything.
Yeah.
Don't be plugging my neck injury. Don't talk about my neck on your podcast.
So, next up, we go inside Ric Flair's war room.
Oh, the war room.
Which is just some room
Yeah.
that he's never been in before.
yeah.
Arn Anderson tells Flair that Vince has the first pick, but Rick says, we're not backing down. We got this.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Back down from what?
So you're still going to do the draft?
Right, you're not intimidated,
Yeah.
and you're still gonna pick people to be on your show.
Exactly. So
Poor choice of words.
Vince comes out to the stage and announces his first pick for SmackDown, and of course it's none other than The Rock.
The most obvious pick
Yeah.
of the entire draft.
Right.
Every other pick has a little bit of like, oh, maybe I would have picked this guy, but not this one.
Yeah.
Stone Cold's not available. I'll take The Rock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rock comes out to the stage, and Vince tells him there are going to be some new rules. Vince says, you will never put your hands on me again. You will never talk about shoving your boot up anyone's candy ass. And you will never use the phrase, it doesn't matter. And then the fans chant asshole, and Vince says, The Rock's my number one pick. Don't call him that.
Uh-huh.
Vince also tells Rock, I made your friend Hulk Hogan, and I made you. I brought you into this world. I can damn sure take you out. So then Vince starts to leave, but The Rock stops him.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. It's like
Rock-
one of his catchphrases.
Yes.
Basically,
You can't do
yeah.
that one. Rock reminisces, his greatest moments on Raw, like winning the WWF title, the Rock and Sock connection, and shoving Vince's face up Rikishi's ass. Rock
Yeah.
then asks Vince, you want to take The Rock off Raw? And Vince starts to answer, but Rock says, it doesn't matter what you want. And then The Rock clears up a couple of things.
Is you never made Hulk Hogan. And you damn sure didn't make The Rock. The Rock didn't even make The Rock. The Rock's parents' genitalia did not even make The Rock. You can't say that, can you? Just so you understand, crystal clear, it was the people who made The Rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, watching this
Back when you
episode,
could say genitalia.
Back then, they used to know this.
it made me realize how little Jerry the King actually used to contribute to the commentary. It was either like, or puppies. And that's about it. That's about the bulk of his speech. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, what?
Jerry,
Like,
Jerry
that-
Lawler?
Yeah. He didn't really do much.
What?
What?
We're about to have a
What?
Jerry the King Lawler
Oh,
debate.
God, not another one.
What are you, nuts?
I don't want to do
It's
this.
the greatest color commentary. All of my best comments are like 7 Jerry the King Lawler quotes that I can't pick from.
But like what I'm saying, he doesn't offer much to the show. He's giving zingers the whole time.
That's amazing.
Okay.
What do you
That's his
need
job.
the evil color commentary guy to do? JR's the guy who does play-by-play. He tells you what's going on.
Well, yeah.
The color guy just offers colorful input. Like puppies. Like when he screams. Like Beaver Stadium. Stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know, like he's amazing.
Okay.
I'd
You
love
don't,
to
you don't
have
like
him back.
puppies, Eric?
You don't like the king? Jeez.
Jesus.
Jesus.
So since they're in Penn State, Rock gets the people to do the "We Are Penn State" chant, but changes it to "You are an asshole" for Vince. So Vince walks away upset.
Oh, poor Vince.
And then Ric Flair comes out to announce his first-round pick, and he says, "Despite my personal differences, even though this guy beat the fuck out of my son like a couple weeks ago, I pick a man."
I like money better.
Yeah. I pick a man who's a cornerstone of the WWF. My number one draft pick for Raw is The Undertaker. So we cut to the green room with all the superstars, and Undertaker's pissed.
P.S.
He throws his water bottle
Like,
in
why?
the
So he's
chair,
a heel, right?
Yeah.
and then he
Here?
leaves the room.
So why is he so mad? Like, I like thought bad guys would have been like,
All right, the A show.
yeah, the Ace show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
already
he just-
destroyed you. Like, all right, I'll destroy you again.
He probably thinks Flair's going to ruin his career,
I guess.
you know?
It's just weird.
So then we go inside Vince's war room, and Kurt Angle walks in telling Vince, "Oh, I can't believe you hurt my feelings. You didn't pick me first. I'm an Olympic gold medalist. I'm the best you have." Then in walks a pissed off Undertaker, who tells Vince, "You promised me Flair would not pick me." Vince tells Taker, "I'll make this right. You have my word." And Taker says, "This better be one time where you keep your word. if you know what I mean.
How is he gonna make it right?
I don't know. Well, probably a month later when Vince
Owns everything.
owns everything again.
Right, exactly.
So next up we have, well, by the way, we have Kurt Angle, and he's actually a good actor here.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Kurt was great back
Yeah,
in the day.
he's not like
He's not like, Raw GM Kurt or anything.
yeah, no.
As he is now.
He didn't have a cell phone, so he couldn't be like.
I mean, look, these guys. Name a guy that got older and he got better on the mic. Like none of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Rock
Yeah.
stayed the same because he's
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah.
But even Shawn Michaels got worse.
Yeah. So next up we have Edge and DDP versus Christian and Booker T. Christian and Booker T are the heels, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
DDP hit Booker T with the diamond cutter and went for the pin. Christian broke it up, hit the unprettier. Edge and Christian then brawled outside the ring, and Booker T hit the scissors kick for the win.
It sucks because DDP came into WWE so hot. Like he was like the Undertaker's like wife's stalker, and like him and Canyon won the tag titles, and it was crazy. And then after that feud, like he just nothing.
Well, it didn't really make sense for DDP to be stalking. Like he was never a bad guy like that.
Well, matter of fact, like he was probably the top face of WCW when they crumbled.
Yeah,
He was huge over.
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Huge over.
And then he debuts as
a stalker.
Sarah's stalker.
Right.
Oh my God, he is sick.
That sick man.
Yeah. So back in Vince's
you
war
can tell
room,
someday, King. He's gonna teach yoga.
yeah.
What?
So back in Vince's war room, Kurt Angle's reading Vince's accolades, but Vince doesn't care.
By the way, Edge's music was awful. That old music,
Oh yeah.
or whatever the hell it was. It was.
You think you know me,
And they were still brothers, by the way.
Of course,
They were still brothers.
They were.
Yeah, they've only not been brothers since the last few years.
Right.
Yeah.
So Vince is worried that Flair will draft his NWO next. He says, "My NWO," and then Kurt says,
My boy.
"Yes, yes."
there we
Well,
go.
Kurt even says, "Flair doesn't want poison. He wants an Olympic gold medalist."
He did say that. Yeah.
And then Vince announces his pick from his war room, and it's Kurt Angle.
Right.
And Kurt hugs Vince and thanks him, but says, "Well, I still should have been the first pick."
Yeah.
So here we go. WWE logic. So why did all three guys get to go in one pick?
Well, I didn't,
Thought you had to
didn't
be
get there
champion.
yet.
He hasn't gotten there.
That's the next part.
Oh, sorry.
So Ric Flair comes out for a
Well,
second
no.
round
Vince
pick.
said, "I want to pick the NWO." Like he's gonna pick all
Right.
of them.
Well,
Yeah. Well, so he picks Kurt Angle. Then Flair comes out, and he takes the NWO, which he gets
NWO.
Nash.
He says NWO Collective.
Yes. Nash, Hall, and X-Pac.
Yeah. Now keep this in mind for later.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's like there are rules, but they didn't
Yeah.
follow them right here.
Or
Right.
maybe Flair's just an idiot.
Maybe.
that's what.
That's probably what it
Vince
is.
is also an idiot.
Well, I
He's
guess Flair's smart at first, and then he becomes an idiot. I don't know.
Sure.
So backstage, Vince is pissed, but he says, "Well, it's okay. I'll sign Stone Cold." And then Kurt tells Vince someone else is coming back soon, and he's going to be bigger and better than ever. And he whispers in Vince's ear, and then Vince announces his third-round pick, the murderer, Chris Benoit.
Jesus.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
and it was
Future
just,
murderer.
and it was just 4 weeks later when he
5 years later.
no. Oh no. Okay.
5 years later, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a long
But
time.
Chris Benoit, third-round pick. This is like before he was even that big, too.
Did he win WrestleMania the following year?
No, it wasn't that soon after, was it?
Well, Shawn and Triple
I
H were
guess it
still
was.
feuding.
Yeah. I thought it was 04. 2 years later.
Soon though.
Yeah.
Either the next one or the one after that.
Yeah.
They loved him.
Yeah.
I guess the fans. I guess he was the Daniel Bryan of his time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Daniel could talk on the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Benoit really.
Better as a heel. In Ric Flair's war room, the NWO is there, and they tell Rick, "We don't work for you. We only listen to Vince." That's really badass of them
Oh yeah.
to say.
We're the puppets of Vince.
Yeah. And then Arn Anderson tells Rick it's his pick, so he chooses Kane.
That's got to be Kane.
Yes. Right. Next up, we have Trish Stratus versus Ivory.
Great match.
Not much to say here.
No.
A lot of hair pulling, and Trish wins with
Trish
satisfaction.
literally grabbed Ivory by the hair, threw her down, picked her up, threw her down and did it like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that was like the bulk of the moves that they
It was
taught
all
them back then.
hair pulling and titty punching.
This
Yeah.
was like the start of Trish Stratus's, in-ring career.
It was.
She was still dressed as the TNA manager.
She was. It was weird.
Yeah. So next up, we have Vince's 4th round pick. He comes to the stage, and the crowd does the "You're an asshole" chants. And then he chooses Hulk Hogan and poses on the stage. So he gets Hogan. Ric Flair's 4th round pick is the Intercontinental Champion, Rob Van Dam, like the action figure Eric has.
Yeah.
Backstage, Vince bitches to Kurt that he wanted the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown. So Kurt tells Vince, just make a match, tonight between me and RVD and I'll win the IC title. Vince says, that's a great idea. That's why you're the number 2 pick.
You idiot.
You
And
bastard.
then he goes, maybe you should have been number 1.
Maybe you should have been, since The Rock's like leaving tomorrow for Hollywood.
Yes.
And maybe he won't shove my face in Rikishi's asshole.
Yeah. So backstage, Hogan tells Rock, let's take on the entire NWO tonight since they beat us up last week and it's our last week on Raw. And The Rock agrees, and we have this nice little moment.
What they gonna do? What they gonna do when The Rock and Hulk Hogan? What is NWO gonna do when we run wild on you? I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna lay the smackdown on all their candy asses, brother.
Goosebumps.
How was that, Eric?
Goosebumps.
Is that pretty great or what?
Well, let me tell you what we're going to do, Rock. We're going to it's amazing. How can you not get goosebumps?
What's the opposite of goosebumps?
I don't know.
No goosebumps, I guess.
Hey, Rock,
Whatever.
remember when I tried to kill you with that fucking 18-wheeler?
Don't forget, Eric.
like 3 weeks ago.
Don't forget the winner of the debate, Great Hogan debate.
Hey,
the loser has to, love Hogan. The loser has to change his opinion. I thought we agreed to that. So how was Hogan on this? Great.
I don't know. I don't know who won.
Great to see
who
Hogan.
won?
Yeah.
No.
That's
It's
up for
been
debate.
weeks. This is a Patreon
That's
only.
up for debate. Yeah.
We should have a debate about the outcome of that debate.
Maybe we should, yeah. So next up, Vince's 5th round pick. He takes the tag team champions Billy and Chuck with their manager Rico.
And then they say, I think JR says, and since they're a tag team, you
Yeah.
can take them together because they have the titles.
Yes. Keep
NWO.
this in mind.
NWO.
Right.
Okay.
Next up, we have Hulk Hogan and The Rock versus the NWO. Hogan comes out to a shitty rip-off version of Voodoo Child.
Yes,
Which-
he did.
It was so close, yet not at all. It
Right.
was so weird.
Well, and this is...
They can't buy it. WCW could afford it.
Well,
Vince.
no, they did have it back then. They don't have it now. And since it's on the network, they had to replace the song with this shitty song. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right.
Yikes.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, you could barely hear the song, too.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck is that shit?
Because instead of down, 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 it's like down, down, down. It's like just a little different.
Yeah. It's like the Twilight Zone's version of the song. So Hogan starts the match, and he takes the triple team beating, but eventually makes the hot tag to The Rock, and The Rock gets in and just kicks all 3 of their asses, and he was awesome. He's so fast in the ring.
Yeah.
Rock hits Nash with a rock bottom, but then Hogan asks for a tag because he wants to steal the win, right, Eric? He's
Of
such
course.
an asshole.
Yeah. Hey, brother, help me get over.
You just
what an
take your
asshole.
expense. You just did everything, but let me get the pin, brother.
Yeah.
The Rock couldn't be more over in his career than he is during this moment, but Hogan wants to go over. Okay.
Yeah. So Rock tags him in. Hogan hits the leg drop on Nash, but
From
X-Pac,
2 feet.
Yeah, 2 feet. X-Pac breaks it up. Then all 3 heels start beating up The Rock and Hogan in the ring. And the ref's just like hanging out. He's like, yeah, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
This is the Attitude Era. You could.
No one
Anything
cared.
goes.
Yeah. So X-Pac then gets out his nunchucks and he's about to hit them with it. But then Hellfire and Brimstone, it's Kane!
Yeah.
For some reason.
Kane.
He's done nothing. He had to have done something. with
Kane
them.
coming to save guys
Right.
that he will never see again.
well, no. So,
They had a feud or something going on at the time.
well, it was right after this. This kind of started it.
But I'm saying something should have happened because Flair said, "Oh, someone you guys want to keep an eye on Kane,"
Yeah.
as if there was something.
Well, I think Kane just recently returned, too, from injury. So Kane helps Rock and Hogan clear the ring. Kane gives Hall a choke slam, and the NWO retreats. And then Lillian Garcia announces NWO as the winners due to outside interference.
Yerp.
This was back when every match had an outcome.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like,
One
it's a
way or
DQ,
the other.
so these guys win. Now when there's a DQ, they don't even announce a winner,
No.
you know?
No winner.
Right.
Disqualification.
And then, later in the week on SmackDown, they have a 6-man tag with Kane, Hogan, and The Rock versus the NWO, and that's when Kane does his one
what
of his.
happens when? No, he
Well,
doesn't.
no. This is one of
It's
the
a
best.
famous-
It's
yeah,
one of the best
this is
Kane moments ever when he does the Rock stuff and he does Hogan stuff. You know,
Yeah.
the
Kane
big
and
red
Axe.
machine run wild on you and
What you gonna do
Yeah.
when the Hulkamaniacs? What does Rock call his?
the millions.
Millions.
Millions of fans and the Canaanites.
Yeah,
Canaanites.
Canaanites,
Canaanites.
and then Rock's like,
yeah.
that was great.
It's a great moment. So Vince breaks into Ric Flair's war room. He yells at Flair for taking Undertaker and the NWO, but Flair says, I don't have to explain myself to you. We're 50-50.
Finally, yeah.
Flair then drafts Booker T. Vince takes Edge. This is when they're just like, fine, I'll take Booker T.
We've got to hurry this up.
I'll
I'm
take
surprised that they remembered all the names correctly.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll take Edge. Then Flair takes Big Show. And then Vince takes Rikishi. And then Flair says, good, maybe we'll see that big fat ass sit on your face again. And then Vince pushes Flair into his chair and then leaves.
Huh.
So, yeah, bad move by Vince, drafting the guy that sat on your face.
Yeah.
And could do it again. Next up, we have Jeff Hardy versus Billy Gunn with Matt Hardy, Lita, Chuck, and Rico all ringside. There was lots of outside interference, but Matt and Lita took care of Chuck and Rico. Lita jumped off the apron, and Hurricane Ron'd Rico.
Barely.
Yeah. She kind of
She
missed it.
landed here, and he was like, "Oh, okay, let me hold you so you don't die."
Yeah,
And then I'll roll.
right.
This is when they were going through their black light phase in their entrance.
Well, no, yeah, when I first saw them, I thought it was too cool.
Right.
I swear. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's too cool. Nice. But they came out, and then Jeff got the one with the roll-up. But yeah, Lita did the Hurricane Run off the apron, much like Zelina Vega does now.
Yeah.
Except Zelina Vega's is better.
Better.
Next up, we go back into Ric Flair's War Room, and Flair says he wants the most dominant tag team. So he takes Bubba Ray Dudley.
He wants the most dominant tag team.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he drafts one of them.
Yes.
Was he going to use 2 picks to get this tag
I
team?
think he was secretly just wanted Bubba Ray.
Well, that's the better choice.
Earlier, he took 3 men at once.
Yeah,
the
3 men at
NWO.
once. Vince literally just took both tag team champions.
Yes.
Right.
So then Vince responds. He's like, oh, yeah, you want the greatest tag team? How do you want to do you? I'm taking Devon. And I'm going to make him a preacher.
So
No!
that's Devon Dudley, number 8 draft pick.
Yeah. Top 8, top 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we cut to the green room where the Dudleys are visibly upset, but then they hug and say their goodbyes. And then, you don't have to leave now. Bubba just leaves the room. He's like, goodbye. I'll see you later, I guess.
I better get on a bus to SmackDown. Or Devon said that.
Right. So, yeah, it doesn't make sense there. It was a little
Yeah.
weird.
No.
Next up, we have Rikishi versus William Regal. However, this match never happens because Brock Lesnar attacks Rikishi in the ring as Regal is walking down the ramp. Regal makes the smart decision to leave while Brock beats up Rikishi and gives him an F5.
And this was Brock's second show.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is the first time you ever saw Heyman and Lesnar together.
No,
The first time.
He debuted with them the week before.
Nope. JR says, why the hell is Heyman out here with Brock Lesnar?
Have you watched his debut?
I think they were probably just still confused why they were still
Yes.
together.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Paul Heyman had been on the commentary team for a long time. And then when King came back, then they still wanted something for Heyman to do, so they put him with Lesnar.
What was King out for? Herpes or something?
Probably.
Well, that was when King quit because Kat got fired. or whatever.
Yes,
that's
that's
right.
right.
And he was like, "You're gonna fire my wife? I'll leave too."
His wife. Jesus.
They're like-
he was 60 and she was 22.
I think she
Yeah.
was 16.
She was- we found out later she was only 16. That's why she was fired. She was only 16.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
cute though, that one.
Yep. So next up we have we go to WWF New York. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to go to that so bad. And then, like, it only lasted a couple years, and then it went out of business.
Oh, yeah.
But Jazz is there.
Oh.
And she, but by the way, she recently won, like, an indie title. Like, she was
really?
the women's champion for...
Right now?
Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah, recently.
Wow.
And then she had to give it up for personal reasons or whatever. But, yeah, she won it, like, this year. So she says, people want to call me a bitch, but since I'm the WWF Women's Champion, I'll be the only bitch on both shows.
Whatever.
So,
Okay.
all right.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Next up, we
Moving
have
on.
Vince's next pick, and he takes Brock Lesnar. However, Flair comes out and tells Vince it's not your pick. And Vince says, well, I took Brock Lesnar, so now you can have 2 picks. And luckily, Flair's
That's not how it works.
thankfully, Flair's not an idiot, so he says no dice, and Flair picks Brock Lesnar. So Vince immediately takes Mark Henry, Flair takes William Regal, and then Vince takes the hardcore champion, Maven.
He says the hardcore division is coming to SmackDown.
Division.
The hardcore had a division?
Division.
I thought it was just anybody. So let's
Yeah.
see. We'll have a Crash Holly, Hardcore Holly,
Right.
Raven
Al
and
Snow.
one
Raven.
of Godfather's hoes.
Yes, Al Snow,
Al Snow.
Al Snow for
The Blue
sure.
Meanie.
Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah. That's the division.
Oh, God.
Those
division.
6 guys.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, Undertaker was a hardcore champion at one point, so I guess he's getting Taker too.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then Ric Flair goes, wait a minute. You can have those guys.
with Flair's last pick, he takes Lita.
Oh, God.
And
Here
then
it goes.
Vince makes fun of Flair for picking a woman.
Yeah.
And says, it's only because you're a pig and you're going to turn Raw into a cesspool. And then he also says, well, maybe you'll get lucky with Lita and maybe you won't. It's like, holy shit.
He's like, you just want to fuck her. And Flair's
Yeah.
like,
well,
no comment.
This coming from the company that blamed the fans for how the women were treated.
Right.
Like, well, you didn't care about the women, so neither did we.
right.
Okay.
It's good to know that 20 years later, nothing's changed. We're
Wait.
fighting in Saudi Arabia for the
Is
fourth
this,
time.
is this why a few years later Flair interrupted the live sex celebration? Because he's been eyeing Lita for years?
Yeah.
That's it.
I want a piece of that ass.
We should find all the promos and clips of those two together. It's like the stalking of Lita by Ric Flair.
Right.
Hey, Edge, tag me in.
I got her!
She's mine now. What? Next up, we have RVD versus Kurt Angle for the IC title. Towards the end, RVD jumped off the top rope, but Angle pushed the ref in front of him, so RVD hit the ref. Kurt then hit the Angle slam and put RVD in the ankle lock, but the ref called for the bell, DQ'd Kurt.
It was
little
nice to
bitch.
see a decent angle slam.
Right. Oh, my God. Then Edge came out and attacked Kurt. They have a little back and forth, but Edge spears him and punches him a bunch until referees pull him off.
You think Kurt knew him?
What?
You think Kurt knew him?
Oh,
Knew Edge?
because most people only think you know Edge.
Right. That's right.
You think you know me.
Oh, were they,
You think you know me?
were Edge and Kurt a tag team before this?
Couldn't have been.
I don't
Or,
think
or
they.
friends before this?
They
No.
were friends.
Yes.
They were friends.
Edge, Christian, and Kurt. They would like hang out together
Before this?
Yes, they even had promos together. When Edge
Well,
and
'cause-
Christian were still together.
Yeah, well, because I remember that whole backstage segment where like where Edge is showing Kurt the pictures, but then when Kurt holds up the pictures, it says "I'm an idiot."
That was once they were on SmackDown.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So for the main event, we have Triple H versus Chris Jericho versus Stephanie McMahon for the undisputed WWF Championship.
Aw, smell a rat.
Yeah. And somehow Stephanie was able to make this match. They showed
Yeah.
last week, and she makes the match.
Well, JR said that like 4 times throughout the broadcast. And
Yeah.
then King finally goes, "You've been saying that a lot."
Right. Michael Cole, with highlights in his hair, interviews Stephanie backstage
God,
before
I
the
forgot
match.
about that.
15-year-old Michael Cole.
Is interviewing 16-year-old Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah. And he tells her, if Triple H... And this is where it started. It started with Michael Cole. I'm a backstage interviewer, but I'm not going to ask a question.
Yes.
He says, Stephanie, if Triple H pins you, you're out of the WWF. And then he just puts the mic in Stephanie's face.
Yeah,
Stephanie.
Hey, Steph.
Yes.
So if Triple H pins you, you leave the company. Thoughts?
No, that's not even.
No, that thoughts is a question.
Oh, that
Eric.
is.
No,
You
it
leave the
doesn't say
company.
thoughts.
Give me some more microphones.
I'm surprised my poll was like, Stephanie, Triple H doesn't have to get pinned, wink,
Yeah,
to lose the titles.
right. Well, that's what JR and King did before this match. They went over every scenario,
Every
and it was all the
single
same.
one.
They're like, if Jericho pins Triple H or Stephanie, he becomes the champion, King. And then it's like, oh well, if Triple H pins Jericho or Stephanie, he retains, King.
What if Stephanie pins Jericho? She don't win shit, right? no, King. She wins the top. What?
But what if Triple
I don't
H?
get it. I don't get it.
What if Triple H pins Stephanie? Well, then she's gonna go away for a little while, King.
What? but she owns the company.
Yeah.
With puppies.
So,
But puppies.
but puppies. What happens to the puppies? Oh, don't worry, she's gonna leave and come back with bigger puppies, King.
Yeah, right. Oh my god.
She's gonna get those puppies enhanced, King. But Triple H's entrance with both titles was cool.
Yeah.
This was the last week that he had both titles because the
Yes.
following week Flair gave him the new undisputed championship.
Yes.
which is like I never liked that title.
No, I thought it was really ugly.
It was ugly. There was nothing
Well,
special.
and then a few
to it.
weeks later, when Bischoff comes back, he goes, "Hey, that title you guys threw in the garbage. Can I use that for
Yeah.
Raw? Can I use it?
No, they didn't use it.
Huh?
I see.
Well,
I
Well,
see
it
what
looked
you're
just
saying.
like it. I
Well,
mean,
it was the same one.
It
basically-
was the same one. They just curved the plates.
And when they just put WWF on it.
Yeah.
right.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff in this match. They told a pretty good story here.
They did.
Jericho clotheslined Triple H out of the ring. Stephanie then laid down to try to let Jericho pin her, but Triple H pulled Jericho off in time. Triple H later slingshots Jericho into Stephanie, and then Stephanie falls and headbutts Jericho in the balls. Hunter then
That was
kicks
fun.
Stephanie out of the ring, and you're like, all right, that
Like
was a little
easily,
rough.
ugh,
Yeah.
bitch.
Jericho goes after Hunter's injured leg, and Stephanie even joins in on that. Hunter then pushes Jericho into Stephanie, so Stephanie gets pissed and slaps Y2J. Jericho responds by pushing Stephanie down by her face. Again, it was different times.
Different times.
Jericho goes for the lion salt on Hunter, but he moves out of the way. Stephanie then tries to pin Jericho, but he kicks out. She tries to slap him again, but he blocks it, and he puts her in the walls of Jericho. And Stephanie actually starts tapping, but luckily Hebner didn't see it, and then Triple H breaks it up.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. I wonder if she was meant to do that. She probably just fucked up or something. Later, both belts are in the ring. Jericho brings in a chair, but referee Earl Hebner takes it from him.
But then the announcers say, "Well, he'll get disqualified."
Yeah.
But
How?
this triple threat.
Right.
Yeah.
So then Stephanie and Triple H continue the match.
I
Yes.
guess. I think Stephanie just becomes the champ in that case.
Right.
I think that's the scenario.
Yeah.
So while the ref is getting rid of the chair, Triple H and Jericho each pick up a title and hit each other in the head with it at the same time. Stephanie then gets back in the ring and tries to pin both of them, but they both kick out. Stephanie then waits for Triple H to get up to attack him, but he clotheslines the shit out of her.
Yes.
This huge clothesline. It's like, good
Yeah.
God. Y2J then locks Hunter in the walls of Jericho, but Stephanie jumps on Jericho's back to break it up. Jericho throws her off, but Hunter hits Y2J with the pedigree. Stephanie breaks that up. Triple H then grabs Stephanie, gives her a huge spine buster, and pins her for the win. So Raw ends with security dragging Stephanie away.
Yes.
While Triple H leads the crowd in the na 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 na
Yeah, it's great.
song.
Hey, goodbye.
So Stephanie is kicked out of the WWF until she became the SmackDown GM later that year.
Like 2
So,
months later.
Is it only 2 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's hardly gone at all.
So
Right.
Daddy brought her back.
No, exactly.
Oh, of course. But I have a little trivia here.
She was super
Yeah.
cute.
She was.
When Jericho was coming down to the ring,
Yeah.
like the look on her face was like, I want me some of that.
Yeah.
She was like,
Well, and she was using
She wants
Triple
that
H's
Y2D.
old entrance. And she had Triple H's old entrance
the
music.
one
Yeah.
I liked. Yeah.
Yeah.
The good one.
Yeah. I really like that music.
All of his entrance music.
Well,
was
the
good.
best
one
one.
now is great,
The best
too.
one.
The best one?
The best one?
1, 2,
King of
this
Kings.
one is better than the game?
I really love that theme.
Yeah, same here.
We all vote. Yeah, the game.
No, the old one.
We all picked that one in the song bracket.
No, it was a 2-1, I think.
I'm just saying, I really love the old one.
Yeah, no,
one's great.
that
The old one was great, I thought.
Yeah,
The King
it
of
is.
Kings is
Either way, they're all good, but
Right,
I
they're all good.
personally I
Time to
like
play
that
the
one
game.
the best.
All right, so I have some trivia. Eric will probably know this right away.
well, he read it a minute ago. So,
Well, I don't have the answer on here.
oh, you don't?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
good.
I'm not that stupid.
Yeah.
Smart.
So, Eric, don't answer right away if you know it.
Okay.
See if Joe knows it. But who did Triple H lose the Undisputed Championship to the following month? Triple H's reign only lasted 34 days.
Really?
Who did he lose it to? Do you know it, Eric?
I know it.
So, did he ever jump on a show, or was he, since he's
No,
the
no.
champ, he kind of was on both shows?
Both shows.
Yeah,
You do know this.
I do.
You think you know it.
No, I 100%
I
know
knew it too.
And I
Was
know
it
who
both
that
titles or
person lost
one
it
title?
to.
Well, no, the next week Flair gives him the one title, and he.
So he's the
Yeah.
WWE champion
Yes.
yeah.
as a face.
They were still calling it the Undisputed Championship.
The title literally switches hands every month until
Yeah.
August.
For a while
crazy.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it must be something weird, otherwise you wouldn't be.
Well, I just
asking
thought it was funny that he won at Mania and then he lost it right away.
My guess would be Undertaker.
Nope.
I don't know, because he's the bad guy.
So it was Hogan.
Yes.
Oh,
Hogan
then-
lost it to
And then
Taker.
Hogan lost it to Taker like 27 days later.
right.
Taker lost it to The Rock in a triple threat against Angle and Rock and
Yeah.
Taker. And then The Rock lost it to Lesnar in August at SummerSlam. So it like changed hands every month.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow, and Lesnar was already champion by then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Champion.
Also, do you remember what show Stone Cold chose?
Raw.
Yeah, he chose Raw.
Yeah.
But it was so okay. So I watched the following week because I wanted to see what Stone Cold did. I knew he chose Raw, but I forgot like exactly what happened. So Flair and Vince came out at the end of Raw, both trying to sign him, and they both had the contracts. And Stone Cold was like, Stone Cold told Vince like, "I'm going to SmackDown." Vince was like, "Yeah." And then it was April 1st. So at the end, he's like,
Oh, Vince, one more thing. April Fools.
and then he stuns Vince. And then he drinks a bunch of beer. He gives some to Flair. And Flair's so excited. He's like, yeah, Stone Cold's coming to Raw. And Stone Cold keeps trying to toast Flair. But Flair's ignoring him because he's too busy dancing and drinking beer. So eventually Stone Cold just gets pissed and stuns Flair.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's so great. But yeah, that was Raw's Wah, the
Wah.
first ever WWF draft. So now it's time for some awards.
Yeah.
So who did you have for worst dressed?
I had Billy and Chuck. I always thought
God.
their getup was so stupid
It is.
looking.
It's like a cross between Hulk Hogan and the Hardy Boys or something.
right. Well, they wear like hotel robes almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they be fucking. Joe?
I had Taz.
Yeah.
I had Linda in that huge red jacket
Yeah.
at the beginning of the show on TV.
I thought she looked
Right.
handsome.
handsome. Best dressed?
I had Stephanie
I had Stephanie.
in her wrestling gear.
Uh-huh.
She looks so good. She looks super cute.
Yeah.
I went with Lita.
Buttocks.
Lita with the thong showing. As a kid, that triggered
Really,
my
uh,
dick.
Boner alert.
It triggered my my dick.
My dick.
Yeah.
Worst acting?
Linda McMahon.
I wouldn't
was
count
bad.
that because she's just like reading lines.
Tonight-
She's not an actor.
Tonight we will have the first ever WWF draft.
It wasn't even. I wish it was like that. It was more like tonight we'll have the first ever WWE draft. This is what's gonna happen. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I had Vince just
Okay,
because he
can I leave
overacted
now?
like crazy.
Yeah.
I had Michael Cole
No, that's good.
for ruining all backstage interviewers.
Forever.
Best acting?
The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rock.
The Rock, but
Yeah.
man, honorable mention to Kurt Angle.
Oh yeah,
He was so
Kurt
good.
was great, but
As
The
a
Rock
little,
was The Rock.
like-
You don't beat The Rock.
Yeah.
You don't beat The Rock.
Worst
like-
comment?
Is this good? Yeah. Good, Eric.
Worst comment. It seems to me that the perfect pick has become just another victim.
Yes,
Just
that is it.
another victim.
That is correct.
Yeah.
I had Nash. Hey, we only listen to Vince.
Okay.
We're the NWO. We're so badass. Where's Daddy? Best comment?
The Rock's parents' genitalia didn't even make The Rock.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Oh my God. Jerry the King, I love the beat. He goes, Beaver Stadium? And JR goes, easy. But my favorite words, he's talking about jazz, and he says, I've seen better faces on gargoyles.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
He says that into a microphone that went out to millions about a woman.
Wow.
Yikes.
You know, it's funny when, Vince had the first pick, then Flair came out, and Jerry Lawler said, well, my sources tell me that it's not going to be The Rock.
Right before he picked The Rock?
No, because Vince picked The Rock, then Flair came out,
Yeah.
and he said, oh, my sources tell me it's
yeah.
not going to be The Rock, because he was the only one who was picked.
Oh, that's funny.
Worst match?
Taz versus Perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Sweep it.
Yeah.
Super slow-mo?
Trish Ivory.
I had Rock and Hogan versus NWO.
Really?
Yeah.
The Rock and X-Pac were moving pretty fast.
Yeah, but that was it. Everyone else was like crawling.
All right.
Trish versus Ivory for me.
Okay.
Best match?
I had Angle versus RVD.
I had the triple threat. I just like the storyline. I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah, I had the main event as well.
Yeah, that one was really good. I don't know. I was just getting to see classic Kurt,
Classic Kurt.
vintage Kurt.
Vintage.
Worst move?
Lita's Hurricane Rana that she kind of missed.
All right.
Yeah, that was good. I had Taz's finisher because everything about him is so lame.
Yeah,
Oh, God. Just Taz, doing anything. I'm just putting Taz.
Taz.
Just
Taz.
Taz
Yeah.
doing anything.
All right.
Taz is correct.
Best move?
The double belt shot. Because when was the last time you saw one of those?
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, sweep it.
Sweep it. I do love The Rock's DDT, though. God, his DDT.
Oh, his DDT is so beautiful.
Worst moment?
The whole Stephanie getting dragged out. I thought that was kind of dumb.
I like that.
Why?
She's like she goes under the ring and they're like trying to drag her out. I don't know.
What's wrong
I
with
thought it was
that?
Stupid.
I had Jazz in WWF New York.
That's
good.
good.
What the fuck was that?
Let's go
Yeah.
with that.
All right.
Yeah.
That'll trump my. I was kind of like the green room reactions were kind of dumb sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was worse.
Best moment?
Rock's promo on stage.
Yeah, that was good. I have Stephanie getting fired
Yeah.
and having to be dragged out of there.
I had Rock and Hogan backstage.
Yeah.
That was good too.
All right, this is a new one. Worst draft pick.
I had Maven and the hardcore division.
Yeah, I had splitting up the Dudley Boys.
Okay.
I had Billy and Chuck, even though they're the tag team champions.
Shouldn't draft
Right.
them.
Why?
Yeah.
All right.
You could also say, yeah, like Flair just only picking Bubba Ray, like you idiot.
Right. Right.
Best pick.
I'm gonna go with Kurt Angle.
All
Just
right.
because he was great the whole time.
Homer
Like he's
pick.
even like trying to persuade Vince, like, "Oh, here's why you should pick me. Look at my accolades."
Homer pick.
Yeah.
Homer
You
pick?
could say it's.
Yeah.
Homer. You could say it's The Rock because he was the obvious pick.
Uh-huh.
Right.
But I mean, NWO, you got three
That's what I
legends
think. Yeah,
with
you
one
got
pick.
you got three guys with one pick.
Well,
So I
like
took
pick,
NWO.
That's actually where the show they got the idea for 2.5 Men. You had two normal guys. And
Imagine
one,
you're
one
picking
little
like
guy.
teams for basketball. It's like, all right, who you pick? I'll get The Rock. Oh, it's good. I'll take these three guys. All three.
Right. They're all wearing
I'll
the
take all
same
these guys.
shirt, so they're one collective.
But it's only
unit.
fair.
those guys.
It's only fair. You got The Rock.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's true.
And then someone's like, "Oh, okay, I see how this works. So, all right, I'm gonna pick this tag team. These
Oh.
two guys.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, those guys are together, but I just want that one.
the white one.
I want
What?
that one.
This is a basketball game.
You idiot. All right, so that's all for awards. So we always do the death toll when we do these old
Oh,
ones.
God.
No, I started thinking about it and then I stopped.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I looked in the green room. I
You
did a
did?
good look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You took a.
I took a good look.
Was
and they're
Boss
really.
Man in there?
I didn't see him.
Yes,
He was.
He was in the green room?
He
well,
was.
Then then he's in there.
There's one.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I think Test was in there also.
No way.
I didn't see any of them. I looked
think
for
so.
them.
I think in one of the shots he was in there. Tall blonde guy.
I have 3%. Otherwise, I'd check right now.
I paused it and looked. I didn't see any of them.
He was part of the show.
I didn't see
though.
Bossman or Test. Well, I know.
Bossman was wearing his sunglasses.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's the only one wearing sunglasses.
Of course. I'm pretty sure I
I
saw
would
Test.
include
'cause-
Boss Man, but don't include Test.
I thought Bossman was currently driving Big Show's dad around.
No,
That's right.
this was
that's
before
I
that.
know. All right, so Big Boss Man.
Mr. Perfect.
I would have said Jazz, but you said she just recently won a title.
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then there was one
Linda
more.
McMahon.
They only. I mean, she might as well be. She hasn't been on TV.
Yeah.
And then really, I don't know if it counts, but I mean, he picked him, Chris Benoit.
But he wasn't on the show.
But he mentioned him.
Well, I mean,
He was a third pick.
But if he wasn't on the show, that's not part of the death toll, right?
yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying, like. he
Okay,
mentioned
well, I'm
him.
just
Because then
saying
we can
Test
include
is
Test.
also dead. Because you saw Albert,
Albert's alive.
and I think he was next to him.
He's like the main coach.
Well,
I see what you're
I
saying.
know, like,
yeah.
he would have been sitting next to him.
Well, let's see. Earl Hebner, did you say him?
He's alive.
He's alive?
He's
Wow.
alive.
He was on Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
Which you need to watch. By
We
the
saw
way.
Maven. Apparently he's alive. We saw him at Raw.
I don't think that was him.
I think he was cosplaying as me.
I googled him and I couldn't find any info about him.
That was him. I
You
said,
would
what's
think.
up, man? What's up, Maven? He goes, hey.
Really?
It was Maven. You know me with faces.
I didn't see him.
But I did. I'm not asking you if I saw Maven.
Okay.
Do you think that was
Hey,
Maven?
did you see Maven?
It was wrong draft. It was Maven. It was him.
All right.
Can't find anything online about him.
Oh, he probably doesn't exist then. Did you Google Andrew Pisano?
Yeah, I do exist when you Google me.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I'm alive.
Weird.
I mean, like if you go to
Weird.
I mean, like no one has any info about him like right now. Like if you
Yeah.
go to Wikipedia, it doesn't say like, oh, he currently works at WWE
They don't want anybody to know that shit
because it's Maven.
because it's Maven.
All
All
right.
right, so what's the death toll? I'm going to say 4.
Well, we did everyone.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
So
that
it
was
just depends who was
It
actually
wasn't
there.
that long
So
ago.
how many? So Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect,
Big Boss Man.
Big Boss Man.
Those are only like I
So
didn't.
you only found one then.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
I just put Benoit because Vince mentioned him and picked him.
All right, a lot of those guys
Third
are still
overall.
living. Good for them.
Yeah. All right, fan questions. Jack Goodwin, they managed to fit an entire draft for both shows within a 2-hour show. Was this purely because they were just better back then at managing time, or is it just that rosters weren't as vast as they are today?
I think they weren't as vast.
Well, plus, it was only 20 picks. The rest were on the website or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Steven Stafford, which do you like better, the draft or the Superstar shakeup? If draft, do you like GMs picking or random Titantron picks?
I like GM's picking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they switched it to a random. That way, it's not like they're putting more importance on one star over another.
Yeah, but then they messed that up. Because like, wasn't Cena drafted by both brands in the same lotto?
Yes, that was so stupid.
That was the
right.
random thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Cena's over here now. Let's see where he ends up when the show's over, King.
Yeah. Oh, we went back. All right.
Yeah.
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 By the way, Maven's real life name. Mm-hmm. You guys know what it is?
Maven.
Maven.
Cool.
Interesting. That's never the case.
Yeah, well, see, like when they did the draft in 2016, though, they screwed it up because, like Stephanie, Raw had 3 picks for, SmackDown had only 2. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they had 3 to 2 picks or whatever.
That was dumb.
Because a longer show. And then Stephanie and Mick would come up and pick like 3 people. They'd be like, "Oh, we take this person, this person, this person."
Yeah.
and it's like, what? The fuck? What? This is stupid.
Right.
Krell Johnson, reach and steals of the draft for both shows. I guess we kind of did that.
Steal Brock Lesnar at number
That's
8.
true,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
That probably should be the best
The
pick.
reach, Devon Dudley at number 7.
At whatever he was.
He
Yeah.
was number 7 for.
Yeah.
No, he was number 8. Because it was the 7th round that it says on this box. And Vince had the first pick of the 8th round.
Yeah. So, yeah. Devon at number 8. Jesus.
Wow.
That's a reach, especially because
That's definitely a reach.
he ended up becoming an evil preacher.
Yes.
And it's like, what the
Well,
hell?
but if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had Batista. Well, I mean, we would have
just done something else with Batista
right.
because he was his deacon or
Yeah,
whatever.
Deacon Batista.
Yeah.
Deacon Dave.
All right. Well, let us know what you thought of this episode. Was this as good as you remembered? What did we think of this episode, by the way?
I'd give it a B.
B, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
It wasn't the best, but it wasn't terrible.
I did like how they performed the draft. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
With the GMs picking back and forth, like a draft should be.
like a draft.
Like you're drafting. And there were some decent storylines in the matches. Was Raw only 2 hours back then?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And it was on which network?
TNN.
TNN. That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, TNN.
TNN.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you guys next time.
Boom.
What's wrong with wrestling? What's wrong with wrestling? So much wrong with wrestling. Oh no. And he's always right. Don't you dare have a different opinion. He sounds like Stone Cold Steve Austin. It kinda looks like Kevin Owens. Dean Ambrose is in his daydreams, and Charlotte is in his sex dream. What's wrong with wrestling? What's wrong with wrestling? So much wrong with wrestling. Oh no. Obnoxious, crazy, loud, egocentric, no doubt that's Joe. Self-proclaimed strongest and best-looking man in the world. Loves wrestling, but only part-time. Strong, big Flair's pretty sublime, yeah. What's wrong with wrestling? What's wrong with wrestling? So much wrong with wrestling, oh no. Every third most loved, and he can't really hold in his piss. He made hashtag push Eric Gallo push him off a cliff. He doesn't think Stacy Keebler is that high, and we almost forgot Josh. He's just a troll. What's wrong with wrestling? What's wrong with wrestling? So much wrong with wrestling. Oh no. What's wrong with wrestling? What's wrong with wrestling? So much wrong with wrestling. Oh no. Always kill
Lashley.